Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Terrell, and I'm here with
Patrice.
Hey Patrice. So today we're gonna have a conversation with everyone about sublimation products you can sell. And as you know, what are we coming up to?
The holiday season.
And what's your favorite holiday?
My birthday.
Okay, whatever.
Christmas is my second favorite holiday, though.
Okay, she likes Christmas. I like Christmas too. So holidays are coming up: Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there want to capitalize on all these holidays that we have in the next 4 months or I don't know, 3 to 4 months. And one of the ways you can do it is with sublimation. And one of the cool things about sublimation is for not so much money, you can create custom products for your customers and customize an experience that they might like for their friends and family.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know what sublimation is, or if you are just hearing the term sublimation, that is where we are printing out an image of our choice. Either we're designing it ourselves in a design software, or we're purchasing it from off of sites like Creative Fabrica, and we're printing it out on sublimation paper. However, you also need a sublimation printer, or you need a printer that can be converted into sublimation. Now, I gotta say that I prefer actual sublimation printers over printers.
She's rich.
I'm not. Over printers that are converted for sublimation, but it's a whole process. It's not regular ink. You will have to have a heat press that can go up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit in order to transfer it onto your products. Now, we were talking about products for sublimation. These products, most of the products are coated with a special coating, especially if you're talking about like some of the mugs and tumblers and things like that. And then if you're talking about apparel, for sublimation, you need 100% polyester. Now, I prefer 100% polyester, but you can sub onto materials that have a lower polyester count. I wouldn't go below 65. When you go below that amount, your image will appear dull.
What about like bottles like that are white? Can you sublimate on it?
Depending on if it's made for sublimation. So usually if it's white, not all, so don't like, if you go to the store and you pick up a white stainless steel bottle, this is stainless steel, and you try to sub onto it, it may not sub, because sublimation tumblers have a special coating on them that's cured and it's into the stainless steel, and that's how you're able to sub onto it.
So why would you say sublimation is good for someone new who are getting into custom products? I don't know what you can compare it against, but I don't think DTF so much you can do custom stuff with, right?
Well, like apparel and apparel, you can do custom things with DTF if you have like apparel, like printing, designing your own, like how I was mentioning for sublimation. The difference is that with sublimation, DTF is pretty much on top of whatever it is that you're putting it onto. Sublimation is actually embedded into the fibers of the apparel that you're going to be placing it on. So that's what makes it a lot different. It is permanent. Your apparel, your shirt or whatever you have will break down before the ink of the sublimation breaks down. It stays vibrant. So that's one of the differences between sublimation and DTF. And also with like the specially coated substrates or items, blanks. Sometimes people will call it blanks, like the tumblers or keychains, like they have a special coating on them.
So you would say DTF is primarily apparel, sublimation, you can do some other stuff like tumblers, ornaments, keychains, all those good things, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go deeper into it, DTF, you can place some DTF onto things. Like you can apply it with heat, but then they also have UV DTF, but that's getting into something a little bit more. So we won't go into that.
And we're trying to stay price effective.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about some startup costs for sublimation. And we actually have a video on sublimation on the channel. Remember we did that a couple weeks ago?
So we can just have a link listed
So,
and they can break down the price.
Yeah, we're going to have a link listed towards that. Can you, and I guess my other question is, how much is sublimation ink? We know that in general, ink for printers are expensive. DTF ink is crazy expensive.
So
If anybody wants to sponsor me, go ahead and you can email me. I like free ink.
So compared to other inks like that, like UV ink, DTF ink, sublimation ink is a lot cheaper. Now, a lot of the sublimation printers, especially like Sawgrass, sometimes their ink is a little bit more pricey. But when you're talking about printers that are converted, like the Epsons, the ink is a lot cheaper. So you can go from maybe $29 to $30 to $50 for a set of ink. And I do find that the ink lasts a lot longer when you're using that ink with your converted printers.
Okay, so, and I kind of touched on it a little earlier. What type of products can we make?
We can make shirts, you can make tumblers, keychains are very popular. There's so many different blanks. People are creating so many different things now that you can sub onto. So in addition to tumblers, of course, shirts, shorts, whatever's
I've
polyester.
seen earrings. I think you can sublimate on wood.
You can.
Um,
People are using aprons. They even have like towels. Like especially if you're looking to make like some gifts, or if you, let's say you're gonna have a vendor event. There's so many different things that you can have at your table now using sublimation. Like right now, it's just endless blanks at this point.
so I don't know. I'll probably do a video on this because I found some stockings for Christmas since we're coming up to Christmas.
Yeah.
Sublimate on. Bibs, all sorts of baby stuff.
Baby stuff. Yep.
All right, and let's say you now have some custom sublimation products. Where would you like to sell them?
You can sell them, of course, at vendor events. Let's say you set up a table at a fair or something like that. You can sell them there. You can sell them online if you have your own website. You can sell them on Etsy. Those you can sell them on Facebook in the Facebook Marketplace. You can even sell things on on TikTok, on
TikTok Shop,
yeah,
eBay.
Instagram. Like there's so many different places you can sell it, but what you want to do is you don't want to have yourself all over the place unless you have the manpower. So you pick what works best for you. Some people prefer to be able to have customers come up and they talk to them and they sell. Some people don't really like that so much, so then they go the route of going online and selling the merchandise online.
I personally really dislike talking to people
We know.
or being on camera.
We know.
So I'm an online
Online
person.
is, I think I prefer online too.
Yep. So, do you have anything you would like to add before we close out this podcast?
Not really. If you guys have any questions about sublimation or anything like that, make sure that you leave a question below and Terrell will probably answer it. But there's just some things like with sublimation. We do have a video talking a little bit more about sublimation and all the materials that you'll need for sublimation, because it goes just beyond having your printer and your ink. You do need other things like heat tape, you need butcher paper, and a few other things depending on what it is that you want to do. So I don't really have much else, but I do, I know that I've been doing sublimation for about 4 years now, and I absolutely love the outcome of items that I've sublimated. So I think if you've never done it before, that's one thing I do want to say. So if you've never done sublimation before, it might be challenging at first just to understand all the different concepts of it. But once you learn it, you'll love it.
I believe so too. All right, guys. So thank you for joining us. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel, and peace.
Later, y'all.